Services, Blavazi and who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 607. I'm Adam and I've given up with quotes. I haven't got time to look at silly things like that. But I wonder if Mary Lang has.
Don't make me get all squeaky voiced.
What about Debbie? It's two episodes in a row, Melrose.
I'm ingratiating myself.
Yeah, what about your quote though?
Ba-dum-ching.
And Kirby Bartlett Sloane.
Car!
That would have been a good one, wouldn't it? Yeah, I didn't think of that. That would have been probably the one I would have gone for if I thought of it.
As of Karn.
What?
I said, as in Sisters of Karn.
No.
Khan!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
Doctor!
Karn.
Right then, so yes, this week it is the... I can't remember what it's called now, something about light.
The Eaters of Light.
Purrs of light. Purrs of light. Okay, right, so...
The Eaters of Light.
The Angels of Light. The Angels of Light. That doesn't make sense.
Is there something wrong with my microphone?
No, he's being weird.
No, I think you're just butting in, and I'm not quite catching the first part of it. First of all, I've got Urs of Light, then I've got Dangers of Light, or something like that.
Eaters.
Turs of Light. Oh, so it is Turs of Light.
Church
Okay.
of Light. I like that one.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
What,
yeah.
Turs of Light?
Sums it
Yes.
up.
See, this viewers, if you want to do a podcast via Skype, and your presenters like to butt in, you miss out part of what they're saying. Unfortunately for me, I'm pretty sure the audio feed going into my other recorder will pick up everything they're saying, so it's only me that misses out on the syllables that are being dropped, which doesn't help me out as the presenter of the show.
Okay,
Just
how about
saying.
the nom-nom-nommers of light then, if that's easier?
Oh, very good. You haven't had one of them for a while, have you?
No.
That was a
thank you.
great clue. A great clue. Right then. So, yes, the episode, I actually quite like the Roman aspect, because I love the Romans, and there's the beautiful scenery they used. And, yeah, it was just a nice little opening, and the Doctor wanted to find this missing legion of the Romans. So, what?
The ninth.
I saw,
I learned
yeah. You
about
can
them
say
in
that I like to people, my people give some chance to fill in the missing numbers. Anyway, yeah. So so they go back. Initially, it starts on a sort of this same field to present day, where these children can hear music playing and whatnot. And
Cairn.
eh?
On the cairn.
And the Cairn, and then
Cairn. C-A-I-R-N. It's a cairn, is what they're on.
Cairn. I'm saying it to wind you up, and it works. Cairn. Anyway, so yeah, and this crow sort of flies around, just a bit like a raven, to be fair. But this, but they don't want to mention ravens again because people who are
Yeah, it did look rather raveny for a crow.
Still grieving over over poor Clara. Need to call her Carla. And yeah, so they hear the thing, and the Doctor arrives, and but after the crow says a couple of things about the Doctor and Car and whatever. And were you going to say something, Kirby?
I said Doctor.
Yeah, okay.
Master.
No, it wasn't the Doctor. She didn't
this,
sorry.
This feeling that this may have been originally written for Clara because of all of how is it that Bill is suddenly an expert in everything Roman?
She's a university student.
She learnt it, and I've read all about it, and we were only taught basically about that the ninth disappeared, and half my class went off and researched it to find out what was going on.
I didn't know about the ninth.
And Tom could just probably do a whole podcast of his own about it.
I didn't know about the ninth disappearing, to be fair, but I did. It is extremely interesting. I need to go back and I didn't realise there was some facts on it to read up on.
There's quite a good few books and stories about it. The Lost Legion is a really good version of the tale. And then you've got the Lost Legion was a really good version of that. I'd recommend that if anybody wants to have a look, because they think that what happened is they just blended in.
No, I could have done. Yeah, very good point.
I mean,
Oh.
But I thought they went into they were all destroyed by this creature.
Well, now
Kirby.
that's what the new thinking.
We can't rule it out.
Yeah.
But the thing is though, right? There are people in and around the world who watch Doctor Who because they like the historicals because they're fans of history. So people who are fans of history just love absorbing facts about history, and that's why Bill, who's quite interested in being in a time machine, which can take her back in time, is actually interested in aspects of history. That's how I would read that. And I'm writing a book about history as well, which I haven't included about the Ninth Legion. So thank you, Debbie. You get a credit, even if you don't do any sort of editing for me. I'm doing
I'll read out for you. How about that?
I'm doing some editing at the moment, the initial edit, before I send anything out to you to have a read through. Because I know you read fast.
Yes, I do.
You'll have to. There's 250,000 words to get through.
Oh, that's a day if that.
Anyway, Lillian Robbins says hi. By the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. It's very important to mention Lillian. I should actually have a jingle that says Lillian Robbins mention, but it will be played too many times.
You
Right.
need to write a love theme for when Neil and Lillian.
Well, I've got a
are
love
chatting.
theme for that. It's this one. Oop. Oh, it's not playing. That's that one. Anyway. So to cut that beginning bit, make it a bit longer. They do go back to Roman times, so the Doctor can find this Roman legion. Then they split up. Bill goes in one direction, the Doctor and Nardole go in another, and then we meet.
I think surprised about that, actually, Adam. The wilds of Scotland, knowing that the Celts are there and probably killing anybody that doesn't look like a Celt, and he just sends Bill off on a merry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Doctor Who though. Anyway, so she goes and finds this sort of lady in the woods whose face is painted a bit like some old curtains we used to have, actually, with these swirly little sort of things in it. And she appears to be guarding something, and after a little bit of a stroll, falls down a hole and meets this little Roman red shirt. Roman soldier.
Yeah.
And not long after the meeting, the Roman soldier gets eaten by this sort of, it's almost like a tentacled creature that looked a bit like a squid, but had sort of light up.
It looks very much like a squid.
Yeah, the sort of light up tentacles.
Well, that's what I thought we'd look more into the lore of what they were, because I thought maybe it would be some kind of bioluminescence living creature that obviously had the light to keep its light, but we didn't really hear that much about what they really were.
We don't learn anything really about that.
No, just the tentacles.
But anyway, when the Roman soldier gets done in by this creature, Bill just about escapes into another little cavern that contains the survivors of the Legion. And then they have a very amusing conversation, which is a little bit pointless because the viewer should already know about the TARDIS's ability to translate and stuff. But however, it was quite amusing. Yeah. So I suppose I got a funny feeling that they wrote the scene, they acted the scene, but expected it possibly to be dropped. But it was actually played so well, and it was so entertaining, and it sort of, I liked it. And you got Matt Lucas in the series, so you got to allow some comedy bits anyway. So anyway,
I like the bit where she says, "Oh, the TARDIS does lip sync."
Yes, that was good.
Yeah.
And anyway, Bill faints.
About that too.
Bill gets a bit of black slime on her
language,
face,
their
or neck,
mouths
wasn't it? And she. Sorry, Mary, was I talking over then?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the lip syncing thing was very clever because if they're speaking their own language, then their mouth would not match.
Very clever. Psychic circuits, you see. TARDIS does it.
Yeah.
Makes you think that it's lip syncing. Very clever. Lip syncing. We'll try that. I can't even lip sync my own words, let alone anything else. Anyway, so Bill, he's been licked by this tentacle and gets some black slime on her neck and faints. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Nardole come into more direct contact with the Celtic people, and
they're technically they're Picts.
Yeah, it's funny you say about Picts, Kirby, because I was just about to tell you a really interesting fact about the Picts.
Go ahead.
I'm directly descended from them.
Yes,
Ooh,
you probably are.
really?
I think most of Britain is descended from them in some way, shape, or form. The Isle of Wight.
We can trace my dad's line of the family right back to them.
That's really good. I'll have another go. The Isle of Wight was mainly descended. All the people have been on the island for yonks. Where the Picts settled on the island at some point as well before the various invasions and whatnot occurred over time. I'm currently reading to a book for the second time.
Well.
I beg pardon?
The Mottiston Stone dates from around then, they reckon.
We must chat about the fact you told me just a minute ago, but I can't devote a whole Doctor Who podcast to it. I just wanted to say that. Oh, I thought I was going to say now. Shit. Oh yeah, no, that's not what I was going to say. I've lost it. We'll go back to Doctor Who because I've forgotten what I was going to say. Yeah, so the Doctor and Nardole meet up with the little group of
kids,
people who
picked kids.
Yeah, who are being led by this lady who seems to have
Pick me.
Very funny. Seems to have some sort of route into this other sort of voidy university thing where there are some of these creatures. But she's feeling a bit sorry for herself because some of her actions have led to the deaths of lots and lots of Romans and a few of her clan's people as well. So she's feeling a bit sort of sorry for herself. And somewhere along the line, obviously the Doctor works out that these creatures obviously are alien, and then further down the line still works out that the creatures eat light, and works out that if they get out, that they can eat light everywhere, all the stars and the sun and everything. But in the meantime, these baby creatures are the ones that are out in the woods, getting their sustenance from humans. They just sort of eat them out and leave them these sort of
Master.
Oh.
There's only one creature that made it through the door.
Yeah, but that's the one that's eaten the humans.
Right.
And
also, I was bothered by the fact this seems very derivative of the one with the episode with the bus in the desert and all the creatures, all the flying creatures, that if one gets away, it's the death of the entire planet.
Well, in this case, if one gets away, it's more or less the death of the universe because it was going to eat all the stars.
Well, I think it's the same thing because those flying creatures were also possibly killing them. I forget the name of that episode. You know the one I'm talking about.
I do. Yes, right. I've got to scratch my nose. There we go. Who did I get up to? Yeah. So after a bit of action, and obviously Bill telling all these Romans that she knows of a man that can fix everything, and they trust in her, which is quite good. Otherwise, it would have been a bit this killer now sort of thing. And eventually they meet up after going through some tunnely thing and being chased by a creature. One of the soldiers gets eaten again. They arrive in the tent, which is being guarded by this this girl and her. The rest of her little kindergarten friends, and as soon as they arrive,
apparently that actress eventually made it to the Game of Thrones.
Oh, good. There was a bit of a standoff between the Romans who thought that the Celts were talking Latin and vice versa. So we nearly went through the same scene again, but fortunately did quite. I reckon they probably played the scene twice in there and in the bit we watched earlier, but they decided to keep the scene from earlier. Maybe it works better. I know I'm going to be cutting a long story short here a little bit, but
that's fine.
What?
I said that's fine.
Good, because after a bit of deliberation and the Doctor working out what he needs to do, he had a plan. You see, as he always has. His plan was that he, being the fact he can regenerate and stuff, can guard this sort of portal thing for time and whatever, and send Bill and Nardole back in the TARDIS, and they'll be there forever, and that's the end of Doctor Who. Apart from if we bring David Tennant back and have the alternative bio-generation Doctor and have him, but he hasn't regenerated yet, so that wouldn't work, would it? No. Anyway, so yeah, but the girl says, no, I'm going to do it, and then all the Romans and the... Hey?
Let's all just beat the Doctor up again.
Yeah, he gets a bash on the head. So anyway, so they all decide to work together to protect Earth and the universe in this portal thing. It's a very lovely romantic scene as they all walk into it, and the lad looks back, and I have a feeling, because obviously that scene where he's trying to flirt with Bill, and Bill sort of says, "No, I'm not really interested in blokes." He looks back, and Bill I felt like she almost turned the way she was looking at him as he looked back to her, and then she realised, no, that's not going to work. And they walk off into not so much the sunset, but the sun has completely set, sort of thing, because it was all blue and stuff. And then they sort of, then everything, because there's too many going in, everything starts losing, it sort of crumbling and stuff. So they all run out, and it all collapses, and they block it in with a couple of stones here and there, and we go back into the TARDIS, because that's that. And then, who's been sitting in the TARDIS all this time watching it all? It's Missy. Yeah, and I loved that. That was who had the quote at the beginning of the show, Nardol's quote. I'm not going to have to get all high voiced or something like that. Was that you, Debbie?
My squeaky voice.
Yeah, that was really, really good. And of course, there's a lovely scene between Michelle Gomez and Peter Capaldi where they're sort of, he wants to be friends with her, but he doesn't know if he can really trust her, and probably quite rightly so. And she wants him to be friends with her again, but doesn't know she can be trusted.
Well, isn't she, from the music?
Yeah, she's trying
to work out why she's feeling like that, and he's like, "Well, it would be too horrible for you to pretend that you actually care."
Yeah. Somehow I don't trust her.
I don't trust her either, but the funny thing is, in hindsight, she was actually to be trusted. But it's a weird thing, because Missy being the master and Missy or whatever being baddie, and however you want to look at it, and the Doctor trying to heal this sort of evil side of her. And of course then the Master finding that he didn't like this new nice Missy destroying the whole thing. I felt that because the Master's supposed to be bad, it's just the way the Master is, that what the Doctor was actually doing was sort of ruining her in some ways. She stopping her from being herself, and there's a lot of conflict there, and we all know what's going to happen in the next few episodes of Doctor Who, but it'll all come to some sort of crescendo. Yeah. But anyway, so they have that scene, and then the end of the episode is the little girl going up and listening to the music that the band were playing. It reminded me a little bit, when the Titanic went down with the band playing, didn't it? And the Celtic band was playing as they went into this sort of voidy thing. And
it reminded me of King Arthur's minstrels following him around in Holy Grail.
Okay. Oh no, yes, I love Holy Grail. But so yeah, that's the Eaters of Light. Now, there were some aspects of it which was one aspect of it. Yeah, so this creature I know they managed to cover it by having it in almost like in an alternative realm or something like that has managed to get to our realm and eat everything. But I don't think a creature that eats light would really work in any sort of logical format, even in a science fiction fantasy TV show. But I'll let it ride in this one, simply because the scenery really did take you back. It was probably Wales, but it did look very Scottish. It was probably done in Snowdonia or something like that. But it did look very Scottish. The Celtic aspects of it were really, really cool. The scenes were played. It's nice young cast, but diverse cast that was done very, very well. I'm finding that Bill's becoming, she knew a bit about the Romans, but she's becoming a little bit of a know-it-all. She certainly has a time now in every episode where she does a speech a bit like the Doctor's, and I seem to remember there being complaints that Clara was doing a lot of that, but Bill's certainly doing her Doctor speeches here and there. But not to say I don't like the character. But on the whole, it was, again, because it was standalone, it was very Doctor Who-ish, and of course there's people in it I love, like Michelle Gomez, Peter Capaldi, the ensemble with Matt Lucas and Pearl Mackie. So all in all, I thought it was really good fun. I didn't have to worry about story arcs or anything like that. I just could sit back and enjoy a nice little historical with a bit of glowy tentacles. What did you think about it then, Debbie?
Yeah, this was an easy watch, definitely. I was hoping it would go a bit more into the lore of the Ninth Legion, but it kind of just sort of went, okay, we're going to stop discussing the Ninth Legion because there's now an alien. And I didn't mind that so much, but it was like, well, you could have snuck in a bit more about the mystery and the politics of the time. Just a couple of sentences would have covered it, but nah. And it's one of my favourite parts of Roman history in Britain. So yeah, I went in thinking the first time I watched this, there's going to be a lot. No. So this time I just enjoyed the ride. I felt we could have seen the monsters more, but I did like the suggestiveness of the tentacles. I thought that's a nice way of having a monster.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry?
But I agree, but the thing you said about the lack of proper information about the Ninth Legion, I think anybody who's really interested in history would have then Googled it and learnt a bit, or wanted to learn a bit about it. So I think that in that side of things, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes where you've got Nardal threatening to tell them about the Lusitania, and it's like you could have snuck something in there about, this is why they've gone, or something like that, but they didn't. And I thought that they missed an opportunity there the first time around. I'm just reiterating it again. But this one's an easy watch, but I wasn't as drawn into it as some of the other stories this season. And my favourite scene was Missy at the end in the TARDIS. Yeah. I just absolutely. Michelle Gomez is just a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Steals everything she's in. So I'm looking forward to having her on the ride for the last of this. Yeah. But just a good generic Doctor Who monster baiting, episode. So yeah, it was okay, but it's not one of my favourites.
I mean, the fact this Ninth Legion disappearing thing, and that there is record of it happening, it is quite remarkable, considering that I don't think the Romans were particularly keen on having negative, what do you call it, legacies about missing legions or whatever. I'm surprised that the evidence of it still exists, but there you go. Kirby, what did you think?
Okay. Excuse me. It's okay. It's I liked it less this time around than 8 or 9 years ago, whenever we last talked about it. It looks nice. Large parts of it make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Why are they doing stuff? Where's the light coming from for them to be poisoning it with the little things which are changing the light to the poison? Why doesn't it go out and do more stuff in the daylight if it eats light? Stuff like that. I like the historical aspects. There really were Black Roman soldiers in the Ninth, which is cool. There's definitely know that some of them helped build Hadrian's Wall. It looked nice. The business with the little girl at the beginning didn't quite make sense. Why was that scene even in there? Oh, I'm hearing music. Okay, fine.
Just to show that it's still going and they're still protecting us.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. But it was okay. Not one of my favorites this series. Much better than 2 of the 3 Monk trilogies. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Kirby. Well, you know what's coming next, don't you? Mary, what did you think?
Well, I was kind of dreading watching it. I don't remember liking it the first time. Of course, Kirby will probably. I did like it.
You did not.
I did not. Okay. And this time around, like some of the same things still bothered me, but even more things did this time around. Actually, I think Nardal was the best part of this whole thing. He was very entertaining.
Oh yes, yeah.
But outside of him and Michelle Gomez at the end, I just found the whole thing so ridiculous. Why did no one comment that this person that appeared in their lives is wearing a bright red, tight-fitting sweater and jeans? there wasn't even, any attempt on her part, to look like she belonged to the era, and nobody commented on it. And so for me, it just she stuck out like a sore thumb.
I like the fact that, sorry to interrupt, that Nardole, it probably looks the most original out of all of them, because you get that kind of orange from onion skins.
Yeah. The way Nardole, was in loose clothing and all that made him fit in a whole lot better.
Yeah. Ingratiating myself.
And then for us to even consider that these are centurions. These are how, I don't care about the age, because, they were just kids. I don't care. Kids were centurions too. They were trained to be ruthless and brave. And, there is a whole aura to being a centurion, that we have come to know. And what are they doing? Cowering in these caves, afraid to die? That's not a centurion. And even the Celts, the Picts, their history is one of insane bravery. And that girl at the very beginning was the best depiction of those people. Everybody else is cowering in caves too, or being, weepy and sorry about whatever it is they were doing. And they kept being explained away by the fact that they were kids. Well, I don't care. We're talking about legendary type characters that come to us because they were like that. But so I didn't buy them being, the sweet, soft, weepy kind of people that they were portraying. And of course we had to have, people being gay, because that's, it's all about being woke. We're trying to work that into every story possible.
But that's the way the Romans were.
Oh, yeah, I get that, yeah. That's true.
They may have been, but I don't know that the centurions necessarily were.
Oh, yeah.
Weren't centurions, weren't some of them even, what do you call it, when their manhood is taken away?
Yeah.
So they really weren't out there because they were afraid of, the attraction to, I don't know, any sex, would be a weak point.
The Romans tried absolutely everything of a sexual nature. And then made all sorts of rather gorish artwork about it. And stuff which is all over the walls of Pompeii, yes.
That whole idea.
I want to go and see that.
Their whole lives being directed towards, sacrificing themselves as soldiers is, I think, what lent them to the story Game of Thrones, where they had creatures like that. Whole armies, that were.
You're talking about the Unsullied in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the Unsullied.
Yeah, they were eunuchs. Yeah, eunuchs.
They were fashioned after the ancient Roman centurions.
Yeah.
So I just felt like that whole thing about centurions were being very badly thought of because of this story. And then these are eaters of light. So how is it that, and I agree with Kirby, I didn't know where the light was coming from for those little incidents. But if they're eaters of light, then why are they using light to batten that guy back, batten that monster back? I would think
that's explained. That's explained.
Yeah, he would have, absorbed all that, eaten all of that. He would have been very happy with that. And I was getting confused between, if they're eaters of light, why are they attacking in the dark? Because I thought that the characters in the story were afraid of the sunlight because that made them stronger. But then the creature.
Surely the creature was out during daytime at some point.
Yeah, it was.
The light,
But then he was active still in the dark of the cave. So to me, it was very confusing and contradictory.
Me too.
Well, the sticks that they were all carrying, and that the doctor also helped build them, that the stones in the sticks changed the light to poison against the creatures. It is explained.
Oh, okay. All right. Well then.
There you go. Thanks.
Thanks for paying
attention, Kirby.
So yeah, I mean, so much of the story, there were just plot holes and things that just didn't make sense, and things that for me countered my understanding of the history and the people.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have learned more about the Ninth Legion instead of being all wrapped up around these creatures, and that they didn't explain to us either. So yeah, no, didn't like it. Didn't like any part of it, except Nardole and Missy.
Now, talking about Missy, just going back a little bit, obviously we saw a tear run down Missy's face during
2 tears.
2 tears, in fact. Of course, I'm always taking the mickey out of the 15th Doctor's conjunctivitis issues, and it's nice to see. But before he had conjunctivitis, that another Time Lord was shedding a tear. But I seem to remember the 10th Doctor shedding a few tears here and there back in the day. But there you go. Yeah, so that is the Eaters of Light.
Oh, one other thing that I was disappointed that in this story because I expected better from the writer of Survival.
Oh, right, okay. Well, Terry Nation, I thought he was dead.
Huh?
Terry Nation? Yeah, I thought he was dead.
No, Survival.
That was Terry Nation, wasn't it?
No.
Was it not?
Sorry.
Survival. Oh, that was Survivors. Oh, you mean Survival?
This was written by Rona Munro. Who
Oh,
wrote,
sorry, I
Survival.
thought you meant Survivors. That series where everybody's killed by
No, I don't know that
COVID.
series.
Oh, no, not
because
COVID. It was something else.
I don't know everything that Terry Nation wrote, so
Okay.
so there.
I do sorry. God.
Well, I just was there.
Anyway, yeah, I like if you go back and listen to us talk about Survival, I like that story. So
Yeah, it's a shame they can't redo it with better cats.
But as far as I know, she's the only person who's written for Classic Who and New Who.
You're probably right. Terry Miles says, some theories suggest the Legion was transferred to the Rhine Valley AD 120.
Mm-hmm.
What?
She says knowingly, mm-hmm.
No. No, I didn't mean it like that. It's just, yeah, I agree. There's so many theories and things, and it's like, why isn't there more proof of what happened? But we're coming to the end of Roman occupation in Britain, so
well, it's another
lost a lot,
280 years to go.
Because we don't have the
Or 300,
documentation
actually.
of what happened towards the end, as everything was crumbling. So yeah.
But I'm not too sure it was.
Really intriguing. I mean, I think Tom believes the Rhineland thing, and yeah, it's everybody. You have so many different historians and archaeologists and things all coming up with new theories as more and more things are discovered up around where they were based. So yeah, it's such a intriguing part of the Roman occupation, because also now you're getting new digs happening where people are finding what look like Roman villas, but they've actually dated them to well after the last Roman occupation, and people have basically either reclaimed them or have copied them and have tried to copy the little, when you make what are they called? The thing out of all the little bits of what are they called? They find them on the floor.
Mosaics.
They're finding mosaics, but they're dyed with local. They're not imported from anywhere. They're local make and using local dyes. So there was some emulation, but there's absolutely, other than finding the occasional site to excavate, we've got no true knowledge about what happened afterwards. So yeah, really cool.
Thank you. Right then, so this moves us on to Kirby's request for feedback on Facebook.
Which doesn't have much.
I was going to say, I don't think there's much beyond a couple of us liking it.
Speaking of Terry Miles, who says, sorry, we'll be joining the podcast late and submitting feedback as soon as I get home. We've been in London watching Vengeance on Varos with 5 guests who appeared in the show.
Oh dear. Oh, that's good.
Whoa. What, was there a special showing or something?
Oh,
I guess
fun,
he'll-
right. When you
tell us.
You're on the chat. Tell us what this was.
well,
all about.
yeah, that's a bit tantalising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you some time, Terry.
That's it. And then Ian Kirk's script, of course.
Let's give Terry some time to write something in regards to what he's just hinted at. And in that time, we can. This is all in the wrong order, but never mind. Here's Andy Nunny.
Well, hello, 20 megabytes. It's Andy Nunny here, recording on my phone because our PC has died, so I can't use Audacity. Anyway, it's Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go collect Zach shortly from going on a play date. But yesterday I watched The Eaters of Light, and yeah, it was all right, I suppose. It wasn't one of the best ones I've seen. I mean, the concept was quite good about a portal that's being guarded by ancient, well, not exactly ancient, were they? Sort of 2,000 years ago. Britons rather, and they were taken on the Romans, and that's why the Roman legion disappeared, which I know has gone down in history. But I don't know, it just the story for me just didn't flow. I couldn't understand, what was he trying to do? What was he trying to achieve? You got the girl at the beginning who went back to hear music, and I didn't really understand. Again, what was the point of it? What was she actually trying to do there? The Romans, then, you got they're all speaking their own languages, but can all understand each other thanks to the TARDIS translator, I guess. Pretty obvious. But I suppose it's an old story of, two people fighting each other, coming together in a common cause. And that was it, really. I mean, sorry, but the story just really, for me, just didn't flow at all. And, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot I can really say about it, and that's it, really. So, sorry, folks, but that was all there was to it. And so, until next time, I'll be seeing you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Andy, and nice to hear the lovely Dawn sweeping the yard while that feedback was being recorded. It was all gone very quiet. We've got Roy.
Hello, it's Roy from the Isle of Wight with a comment or two about this week's episode of our favourite fantasy science fiction TV show, Doctor Who, The Eaters of Light. This is going to be a very, very, very quick review. It's crap. I really do not like the story. It's based on supposition and rubbish as far as the Roman Legion is concerned. Yes, the Ninth Legion did appear to disappear in Roman time Britain, but current research suggests that's more a combination of heavy losses over sustained campaign from the Britons, plus bad record keeping, plus Hadrian throwing his metaphorical toys out of the pram and bringing over the Ninth Legion to replace the Sixth, or what was left of it. But that's neither here nor there. I consider this to be one of the really, really seriously pants stories. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's blindingly obvious where it's going to end up. The creature from the alternate dimension, to be honest, looks like something rejected by Pixar for one of their dragon training movies. It's just generally speaking a rubbish episode. I really didn't enjoy it, and I'm glad that I don't have to watch it again. Other than that, have fun, guys.
So you didn't like it then, Roy?
It's a short episode today.
And all that, I forgot to send some feedback from Terry Mars to Mary. So bear with it, Mary, while I do this. And it's the sort of thing I do with it very slickly, but on this occasion, yes, I forgot. So I'll send it to you now. There we go, it's on its way, and I'll move on to the next bit of audio feedback. What I have... Oh, where is it? Oh, we've gone through it all. In that case, we'll do it in a different order. Just so
there's an Ian Kirk thing somewhere.
Yeah, I know, it goes like this.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Well, hello, Ian.
Eaters of Light by Ronna Munro. Death by Scotland. There is a portal into a dimension of evil. Once a generation, a young person is chosen to guard the portal. That's the plot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes.
Nardole wears a dressing gown, like Arthur Dent in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Bill wants to find out what happened to the Roman Ninth Legion. As in the Mars episode, she falls down a hole.
Yep.
The actual Ninth Legion built a part of Hadrian's Wall. 60-odd years later, a list of Roman army units did not include them. and their disappearance is a mystery. Picts and Roman survivors team up to guard the portal and prevent the aliens invading Earth. Reminds me of Rory, the last Centurion, guarding the Pandorica.
Yes.
Missy turns up at the end, continuing her moral improvement arc. Later today in America, there is some sort of football game. Philadelphia versus Taylor Swift. Bye for now.
Yes.
Well, by the time most listeners listen to this, the football game will be over.
Yeah, that means that they can predict who wins post-haste.
Yes.
Mary, have you managed to digest the blurb of what I sent you?
Digest? Yeah. Well, I received it, so I can read it.
Go for it.
He says, sorry this is so late. The story of the Roman 9th Legion that vanished in the wilds of Aberdeenshire, Scotland. Beautiful scenery in Aberdeenshire.
Really?
The gatekeeper made a mistake and let the monster loose. All the local adults have been killed along with most of the 9th. Ah, the old ploy of splitting the companion and doctor for separate adventures. They get together and help the legionnaires and locals defeat the monster. Oh dear. Missy loose in the TARDIS. Not a good idea. Some quotes from this one. Doctor, shh, does everybody hear that? Do you know what that sound was? That was the sound of my patience shattering into a billion little pieces. Doctor, it's as if his bones have disintegrated. Nardole, ooh, what could do that? Doctor, complete and total absence of any kind of sunlight. Nardole, death by Scotland. That was a good line.
It was.
Doctor, it's Scotland. It's supposed to be damp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doctor, you don't know what's in there. You just shout and wave that TV aerial about. Next up, time for Bill to leave in a double bill of World Enough and Time.
Double bill?
And the Doctor falls. Linda and Terry Miles.
Time for Bill to leave in a double bill. That's interesting.
Yeah, Bill leaves in a double bill.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about, them splitting up. Yeah, that just reminded me of the scenery and everything about the Sontaran experiment, although that was delivered slightly better. Just saying. Okay, I think that covers that section. I'm just treble checking that nobody has sent anything through. Don't know why. Andy's feedback. I must have, because I did it first, wasn't it? And that's about it. No, any other feedback that I may have forgotten? Let's see what Terry says about his... No, he hasn't said anything. Maybe he's taking time to write it. I'll have to copy and paste it again and send it to Mary if anything comes through. Now, I did pre-check the potential for Doctor Who news and found there to be none. Because we discussed it last week. And apart from I did hear that Doctor Who's potentially returning in April for some new stuff on Disney Plus and BBC One. Anybody verifying that rumour?
No, I have no idea what.
It may have been a rumour. It might have been AI stuff, fake news that occasionally gets delivered to just wind people up, or potentially just to give the show a bit of publicity. You know, that's what happens, doesn't it? They say, "Oh, let's pretend Doctor Who's coming back in April," and that show is a lie.
Hooray! If we wish it so, it might happen.
I did see on Facebook a very exciting picture from a convention.
The MegaCon picture? That is a great picture.
Is that the one that were with so many people in it? I can't even remember who was in it. I remember Jenna Coleman, Catherine Tate, Matt Smith, the girl who was with the 13th Doctor. Can't remember her name. Have you seen it, Debbie?
Rory's there.
Rory, yeah, he's at the back, yes.
No, I haven't seen this, no.
Oh, it's all over the place now.
Okay, well,
that must have cost whoever the couple that's in that picture. That must have cost them an absolute fortune. But what fun! That'd be canvassed up and put on the wall. I haven't got a canvas of me and Shooty, my old buddy Shooty.
Where are you seeing this picture?
Yeah.
You've got it. Well done, Kirby. That's one. It's sort of cut off a little bit, but it does
Riley,
illustrate
Riley.
the two people that aren't in it. Yes, that's quite a lineup, isn't it? So
Yeah,
we've
the two
got
people who
Freema
aren't in it.
Agyeman, Catherine Tate, Alex Kingston, Clara, what's her name again?
There are people that are cropped
Jenna
out.
Coleman.
Jenna
too.
Coleman, yeah. Arthur, what's his name? Billy Piper looking great, and not looking like she's had too much Botox. And Mandip Gill and, of course, Matt Smith. Now, I was remarking
Billy Piper's channeling her in at Amy Pond, isn't she?
She is. She looks great, actually. It doesn't look so much...
What about the people that are cropped out of the picture?
Yeah, they're the people who bought the
for
picture.
it.
There is a full version of it somewhere. She doesn't look too much like Bingo in that. And when I say Bingo, I don't mean Bingo from...
We know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't mean Bingo from that kiddies program from Australia with the two little dogs. I should remember the title of that, because it's on every day that Grayson's here.
What was the
Help.
occasion for this picture, do you know?
Louis?
MegaCon.
Bluey, that's the one. Yeah, it was MegaCon, yeah. MegaCon, somewhere probably in the United States of
Orlando.
America. No?
MegaCon is in Orlando.
So that's
Right,
not in the
that's
United States of America then?
Yes.
So it isn't. Anyway, so I'm just remarking back to Billy Piper that when I had my picture taken, Billy Piper, it was just sort of after the COVID thing, and there's like a metre gap between me and her, which I edited out and made it look I was stood a little bit closer to each other. But on the picture that one of these people posted of her, she's got her arm round the person in the picture. I feel quite jealous.
Yeah, well, when I had my picture taken with Billy Piper, we had our arms around each other.
I'm even more jealous.
Adam was just post-COVID, so...
Yes, I know, but that makes me jealous, though, Debbie. I missed out on my cuddle with Billy. We could have even done that thing where, with the tears and through the wall and everything, and at each other, like the Doctor and Rose did, Anyway, moving on. Let's go back to what we're doing.
It must have cost anybody going to it a small fortune just to get in.
Yeah. But that picture, Mary, you must have had quite a lot of cash to get. How many people in it? 8. It cost. I mean, what's most I've had is 4, I think, with the 4 Doctors at Wales Comic Con, and then the Star Trek Strange New Worlds. There's 4 of them in that picture.
And then the people we can't even see that are on the outside.
Oh, they're just the people that bought the picture, the ones on the outside.
I'm trying to find the wider picture.
Yeah, that doesn't seem fair that we've only got the stars, not the people who spent the money.
No, I have seen the full version, but I don't know where it is at the moment. It's on the Doctor Who Conventions page, isn't it? Doctor Who. This is great for an audio presentation, but it's sort of...
I'm looking for it.
No, I'm looking for it.
No, I'm looking for it.
No, I'm looking for it. Oh,
no,
it's here.
I'm looking for it.
No. Oh, here it is.
Stop fighting!
I wish I could. Can I drop these pictures in the comment feed? Let's have a look, see if this works. I can show it. Sorry, everybody are listening to the show. You'll have to go and you'll have to go to Doctor Who Conventions on Facebook and view these. Hang on, see if this works. Oh dear, just dropped it on itself.
I've tried dropping them into the chat before, and I couldn't get it to work. But maybe
no,
Max
it's not working.
can do it.
It's not working. But yeah, there's pictures on, like I say, it's the Doctor Who Conventions Facebook group, and you can see the picture that has all of them. And the 2 people on the outside are the ones that aren't included in what you can see, guys.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yes.
Oh, you can now. So a chap called Andrew Haddow, who actually is the one that bought paid all the money out, I imagine, to have this amazing picture. It reminds me of the cover of Band on the Run, which is an album by Wings. I'll put it on the feed there. Yeah, and I could have potentially put it on anybody who's watching the live feed on Facebook, the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who Podcast Facebook group. It's not going to let me do it.
But you can join.
It's not letting me doing it. I'll forget that.
Yeah, so who are those people?
They're the people that bought the picture.
They're probably the ones that are running the convention.
It could be, actually. Yeah, either they're running the convention or they just paid out for a group shot.
There is a comment saying, how much must that photo have cost?
Yeah. But anyway, like I say, no major Doctor Who news, only rumours at the moment. So we could potentially have a Doctor Who rumours feature, but I think that would be really irritating, so I'm not going to do that. Next up is what we've been watching. So this is where I start forgetting, even though I've been watching some really good stuff. Debbie, did you manage to sort of dive into the Lucy Worsley series that was on iPlayer recently?
Oh, what you mean the Hit Fibs one again, or
no, the one where she does Jack the Ripper, the media coverage on Jack the Ripper, the Bloody Mary, and all those other bits and bobs. Seen that one?
British history's biggest fibs. Yeah, because she tells you the correct story rather than the lies. Yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely, I watch every single episode. New Lucy Worsley turns up on the BBC. That's it.
I do get rather distracted by her speech impediment, which she owns up to. But
she's brilliant.
She's also very watchable.
I've got a couple of her audio books her books that she's written about like the different rooms in the house and things that she narrates herself, and I also listen to her.
I wouldn't have it any other way. She's got her voice is getting huskier as she gets older as well.
Well, most people do.
Very sexy voice
she
from
has,
Lucy
Lady
Worsley.
Killers on iPlayer on podcast, and she does like the history of lesser known historical murders and things where the lady is responsible, and yeah, it's been really good fun. I've been enjoying that. I've also seen you're doing your bit, aren't you? Sorry. About what TV you're watching.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask if you'd
Sorry.
taken up my advice and
absolutely.
Watched it.
Carry on. And have you been watching Digging for Britain?
Finished it. It's gone, isn't it? It's the last one out. Number 6 was the last one, but there's loads of them.
We take forever to watch them.
They're all available in various streaming
15-minute
formats.
Increments when Tom's home before he goes to bed.
Fabulous stuff. Terry Miles has reported on his experiences. Sorry to go back to the previous part of the show, but he has. It says the guests were the Dr. Colin Baker, Perry, Nicola Bryant, the male worker who voted in his apartment, played by Stephen Yardley, along with Forbes Collins, who played the chief officer, and not forgetting Geraldine Alexander, who played Aretta, the girlfriend of the character played by Jason Connery. Unlucky Nabil Shaban could not appear due to sickness.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
he was really upset he couldn't do that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I remember about this, because he posted on his Facebook that he wasn't able to attend. Now I've just connected all the dots.
Okay, so I can't remember if I'm reporting about my granddaughter's birth last week. They were both not very well last week. They're all home and are recovering very well. So I just wanted to make sure that.
I was going to ask if they were home.
They're getting better. She's adorable. Not Alicia, obviously. I'm talking about the baby Athena.
Alicia was adorable.
She may have been when she was Athena's age. I'm not quite sure that we could actually. I don't think even she would consider herself to be adorable. Right then, so what have we watched? There's a new series on BBC One with Keely Hawes. It's called Miss Austen. It's about the burned letters between Jane Austen and her sister. Jane Austen's an author from the 19th century, by the way, Kirby, if you didn't know.
They're aware of who's to Jane Austen.
I'm being facetious, Debbie. I'm allowed to be.
Miss Austen, it's called.
Yes, I think I said that. So there's only one episode gone out. There's another one going out tonight. I enjoyed the first episode. Deb watched it. She wasn't going to watch it. I just decided to watch it because there's nothing else on. Oh, this is just the sort of thing I like. Why didn't you tell me it was on? It's on the front cover of the Radio Times. All the other TV books have boring soap stuff on the front cover, so no wonder you don't get to hear about good stuff like that. Anyway, she enjoyed it, and it's got a good cast. So I'll be continuing with that one. I don't watch an awful lot of drama stuff. I like factual things. There was a thing on Channel 4 called 24 Hours in Police Custody. They're quite good series as well. Lots of sports. The FA Cup's on at the moment, and the Saints being rubbish in the Premier League, and trying to watch. I've been watching some historical stuff on YouTube because I was particularly, for some reason, wanted to watch something about King James the one that founded certain parts of America. Well, founded it. He had places named after him, Jamestown and stuff like that. So I want to just sort of know a bit more about him. So it's a good thing about YouTube. If you're lucky, you can find something specific that you want to get information on. The only trouble is most of the time you have to put up with 3/4 of a minute's worth of adverts before you can skip them, unless you've got YouTube Prime.
They've got like an entire 7 hours in one go of abandoned engineering on YouTube, which is right up my street. When I can't think of anything to watch, I enjoy a bit of abandoned.
There's loads of stuff in there. You can just there's nothing to watch. I know I'll watch something historical on YouTube, or I'll watch that program. What's that called again? The one where they reveal who the actual parents are. I used to watch a lot of Paternal something or other. Paternity Court, that's it. Paternity Court.
Idea.
That was really good fun. All bunch of numpties on it, but I do love the lady who is the judge on it. I think she's really fab. Love Island. I'm waiting for Celebrity Big Brother to come along. Oh, and Gladiators started back up again. So I watched that last week. Really enjoy that. And of course, coming to the end of The Masked Singer. The clues are far too difficult because we've only got one of the singers so far this series. However, some of the reveals have been, oh my god, them! Oh, I didn't realise. But unfortunately, the clues are just too difficult. I think we need to make it so you can have a bit of a guess rather than being no chance to just bamboozled with pointless information that you're never going to work out unless you know the people inside out, who they are. The only times I've ever actually caught them is when you recognise the voice. And I think the only one I've got this time was Prue Leaf from Bake Off. There's a new series also, before I move on, of Landscape Artist of the Year, which is always very watchable because they're clever enough to pick a nice bit of scenery. The one we watched this week was the Clifton Suspension Bridge, which had a good bit of history around it in regards to Isambard Kingdom Brunel designing it, getting the towers built, then dying, the place being abandoned, and then somebody decided, actually no, we should really build this bridge in memory of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, which is what they did, and that's why we have the Clifton Suspension Bridge. That is all I'm going to say, because I'm moving on to Debbie Melrose.
Well, I've been once again watching as much as I can of Great British Menu. Absolutely love that. It was Southwest last week, and I can't wait for it because it's like 3 nights a week, guaranteed hour of luscious television, and that's always good. I rewatched the Boleyns, The Scandalous Family. I don't know if the Americans have had hold of that, because that's about obviously the rise of the Boleyn family, not just Anne, and the history behind that. And I just went back to that after finishing Wolf Hall, because I absolutely love anything to do with the Elizabethan era and Tudor era. Because
my era.
I'm that basic.
I'm just seeing if my battery's dying. Bear with me. Oh, it is. God.
Whose battery's dying?
Carry on.
Your battery's dying?
Yeah,
oh no, Adam.
The video's going to go offline in a minute if I don't find the battery.
Well, fair enough. Well, I've been also watching a lot of Nigella, because once I'm watching cookery shows, I can't stop. Rewatched Twisters and listened to a lot of Uncanny podcasts this week, because they're doing it with a TV show every Friday at the moment. Yeah. It's it's a different concept seeing it on screen to hearing just them talking and dissecting it in the studio. Yeah. So, but it sort of adds a glossier finish to it, but it's still the same premise of, do ghosts exist, or aliens, or previous life, whatever they're tackling that week.
No.
They look at it.
The answer is no.
No, but they look at it from a skeptic's perspective.
The answer is no.
They look at it from a skeptic's perspective and a believer's perspective, and they do experiments to see if that would do, if ideas like pareidolia and things like that would have been happening to the person whose story it is. So it's really good all round. I love ghosts.
What's it called?
Oh, God.
I have to say, though, I do believe in ghosts, having seen my great-grandmother on the top.
Oh, yeah, I saw a ghost, yeah. I don't know, I can't explain it. I don't understand why I've seen one, but I have seen a ghost. It's very...
I saw my great-grandma when I was about 7, and she died when I was 2, 3.
Yeah,
So,
it's very disconcerting when you have an attitude such as mine as to why a ghost would exist when there's no such thing of things I don't believe in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So it turns your life on your head when you're going through life and suddenly you see something like that and you're like, okay,
the ghost I saw, and I may have told this story before, but a few years ago now, I was heading from this house to my in-laws' house for dinner, and I was walking up past the garages at the top of Princes Street. Hey?
That's just up round the corner.
No. I was walking past the garages at Princes Street, and I got past the last garage, and this dog run past me. It's an orangey sort of coloured dog. I thought I had to dodge out of the way. I thought, what the hell is that dog doing? And it ran up to the corner where Rashley's is, and it didn't stop. It carried on going, and this car went vroom past. Oh shit, that dog's going to get killed. Obviously, nothing happened, and there was no sign of the dog. The car carrier didn't screech, it just carried on going. It said like there was nothing there, and I went around to me and said something really weird just happened. I've just seen a dog that should have died not to die, and was told that not so long before then a dog had run up there and had been killed, an orange dog, and so that was it couldn't have been anything else because it would have died. It would have been hit by the car, or the car would have reacted to the dog running across the road. So it was a ghost. There we go.
Anyway. I'm done on me listening front. But I do love a good ghost story. So yeah, absolutely.
I'm reading the Crown thingy, the Crowns of England. It's basically the history of the monarchy in Great Britain, dating back to Roman times. Re-listening to that, that's fascinating. Sorry, have you finished, Debbie? I'll keep on butting in.
Yeah. No, I just just lots of cookery and a bit of horror.
Kirby?
Haven't really watched much of anything. Couple of things I watched because I am deeply involved with a great podcast called The Bat Chums, where they're going through every episode of 1966 Batman. I try to watch. You
didn't tell me about this plug about this podcast, Kirby. You didn't give me a pre-warning, did you?
What?
He's plugging other podcasts without giving me a heads up.
It's not a Doctor Who podcast.
Doesn't matter.
Batman 66 podcast. Anyway, they were. I watched the most recent episode that they were about to talk about, called The Minstrel Shakedown, which is like season 2, episode 6 or something like that. And it's fun. I love 66 Batman. I got the 4K Ultra HD version of Wicked, but have not had a chance to watch it yet. I've just been too busy.
Yeah, I haven't watched mine yet. I ordered it and I still haven't watched it.
What a movie that is.
Sorry?
What a movie that is.
Apparently so.
It's great.
Yes. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. I finally managed to find a friend of mine. I convinced him to get a MetaQuest 3S. And so finally, for the first time ever, was able to play Walkabout Mini Golf with someone in real time, in virtual reality, last night, which was fun.
I bet that's really cool. I like that.
So hopefully we'll do it again one of these days. And hopefully if I'll have time to actually watch a few things coming up.
Thank you.
That's right. There is something that the girls were flipping around Netflix the other day, and a show popped up, and Fred has started watching it. It's called Adventures of the Super Monkey: Journey to the West.
Okay.
It's apparently from 2006 and Japanese made, like Monkey was. It looks interesting. It's the characters are all there. They only vaguely resemble what they're supposed to look like. Tripitaka looks like Tripitaka, and Monkey doesn't look very monkey-like. And,
Monkey's not. Yeah, Monkey's been made very handsome.
Yeah. So, well, he is the handsome Monkey King, so I suppose.
Yes, I know, but he needs to look a bit more monkey.
So you're familiar with this show? Because I've seen it.
absolutely love Monkey.
I loved it. Well, I watched it when I was at school.
I don't mean Monkey.
The original Monkey.
The original Monkey, yes.
Oh yeah, I love original Monkey.
Original Monkey has tarnished all later Monkeys, no matter how good the adaptations
No,
are.
you can't beat the original.
All I want is
Absolutely brilliant show. I used to watch that with my granddad when I was at school. Great stuff.
This is a 2006 series that just popped up on Netflix, and it looks interesting. It's Monkey. I'll watch it.
I won't.
Born from an egg on
All right, thank you, Deb. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah. Is that it? You done?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, stuff coming through on the live feed. Leaving it a bit late, as the clock's gone back. We've got Terry Miles saying 2 pictures loaded to 20 megabyte Facebook page. I hope they're appropriate. I know what he's actually loaded. And I've lost the top of my head. That's because I had to plug my backup power supply to the back of the phone. It's magnetic, and of course I had to take it off its normal place where it sits, and that's why it's I've moved it anyway. Hang on. Neil James says, hang on. Hi, Adam and friends, and then bonsoir, Lilian, and then
Bonsoir, Lilian.
hang on, I better turn this down. It's too loud. Hang on. There we go. And then been bussed and have missed the last few live shows, but still loving the podcast. Lillian says, hi Neil. Neil says, busy. Don't bust. Do. We're turning into the Simpsons podcast or something.
I know.
Anyway, and here's Mary.
Well, I don't have a lot to report. I'm still watching basketball. Yay! And I'm kind of diving back into a group that I deserted for a few months called the Doctor Who Media Review, where they put out assignments every month of a book, a TV show, and several Big Finish things to watch, listen to, read. Oh, and even comics. They've gotten into comics now.
Oh, cool.
And so you're supposed to report back, with your reactions to things. And something that they put up this month, which made me laugh, is the Target book called Full Circle. And the funny thing is that was the very first Target book that I ever read, and that was way back 2010, 2011 when I read it. I hadn't even seen the episode on TV yet, but I had picked up that book. Someone said it was a good one, so I picked it up and I read it. And so it was really fun then to later on see the episode on TV. So that's our book this month. And the assignment includes some Sarah Jane adventures. And it's been ages since I've looked at any Sarah Jane adventures, so it was fun. The one that I saw just this week was called Whatever Happened to Sarah Jane.
Oh, cool.
That's part of the first series. And the thing that I appreciate when I'm watching it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, is because I know what age group this is kind of aimed at. And they do it perfectly because they introduce alien monsters, like they're everyday things, which kids that are like 70 years old, they just accept that, it's not a big thing. So we've got the monsters that come out of nowhere and they're just part of everything. And the grown-ups, are kept out of the big mystery. The kids meet kind of in secret with Sarah Jane. And, it just feeds all that kind of stuff that age group really responds to. So it's no wonder that it was a very popular series while it was on.
We loved it. My girls loved it.
Yeah. It just absolutely fits how old were your girls when they watched it?
The perfect age for it, I don't remember exactly.
Well, because I'm guessing the age is probably, somewhere a little before or after 8 years old.
Yeah, let me see when it was on, and then I'll let you know if they.
I let Isla watch it when she was.
2007 is when this.
So Isla was born in 2010, and I let her watch it when when she was about 5, 6 onwards, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, the only way we can get that here in the States is if you've got a subscription to HBO Max, because that's who has them. And also have Torchwood, all of Torchwood. But anyway, yeah, watching it, it's like no big message, no, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's simple, it's direct, it addresses itself to all of the interests and enjoyments of kids that age, and so I can't wait till my grandkids are old enough to appreciate it, because I think it'll still work for them. And then they've got an old monthly adventure, goes back to 2010, I think, and a companion chronicle, one of the first ones called Frostfire, that you can't even get on CD. I mean, you never could get as a download. You could only ever buy the CDs. So one time when I was at Chicago TARDIS, they were having a sale on all that first series of companion chronicles, the CDs, because that was the only way that they were putting them out. So I bought the first series all on CD. And so I have it, but I have to find somewhere to play it because I don't have a CD player.
Yeah, Tom just found a cassette and he was like, have we got a cassette player? I was like, have we got a cassette player? I've got a whole vintage area downstairs with CD players.
Can you play music cassettes on DVD players?
No. Cassettes don't work with DVD players at all. If you go to a charity shop, thrift shop, they might have a cassette player.
Oh, that's a good idea. They probably do a lot of cassettes.
That's where I found mine in our local thrift.
Yeah. I go to charity shops every once in a while, so I should look for one.
I'm only allowed to go when Isla's not there. She doesn't like them. I, on the other hand, would live to thrift.
Oh, yeah.
I love going to thrift shops.
That's like a free afternoon and, the time to look through all the stuff, because, there's a lot to go through.
I want to come to America and go to one of the big thrifting barns you seem to have, because we just have little charity shops, occasionally a second floor. And unless you go to like the big cities, and even then they're still quite small. Yeah, I'd love to go to the big barn. We have to take a trolley.
Yeah, secondhand shopping is a big deal in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Okay, so that's what basketball and kind of diving back into the offerings of this group. We're having a good time.
Cool.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Yeah, my girls, I just looked up when Sarah Jane was on. My girls would have been 13, 12, and 10 when it started. But the thing is that they were very well aware of who Sarah Jane was.
I wonder how they got that information.
Grew up with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think you even really have to know about Doctor Who in order to get into these Sarah Jane adventures.
Yeah, you don't.
No, that's
because they're very freestanding. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. There's stuff going through in the live feed. Hang on. That tone's down again. Neil James says, on a side note, I've started watching the David Suchet Poirot series from beginning. I'm completely hooked, and so many Doctor Who actors are popping up. The one I've just watched had Liz Shaw in it. And then, I love it when all four of you are on the pod together. It's like listening to the Fifth Doctor with Tegan, Nyssa and Adric.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Wonder who's Adric.
That'd be Kirby. Right then, so that means Kirby's going to get done in the explosion that killed the dinosaurs at some point.
Oh, Kirby's Adric.
Right, so next time it's World Enough and Time and the Doctor Falls, because I think it's fairly much a two-parter. Sorry, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we should do the two together.
Yeah, I was going to ask if we were going to do that. Yeah,
that's what we're going to do. But unfortunately, it won't be till March, because next week we have a bridal show, and Deb sort of hinted that when we get back home from the bridal show, I'm probably going to have to do some work on the Strollers video that I shot the day before. And then the following week, I will be filming Michelle's dance show, because I'll be finishing work and the show's at 5 p.m. So that will be running on for about 4 or 5 hours, knowing Michelle. And there'll also be a stroller show from the previous day for me to get my teeth into on the editing front. So the next possible
busy,
date,
basically. You're busy.
is the 2nd of March, which is unfortunately the same weekend as the London Comic Con, which I'm not going to. I put it in the diary in some hope that, there'd be a...
Well, we could sulk
possibility
about it
there.
on air.
Yeah, I met you to get to it at the last one. I don't think I can top that. I know at Liverpool Comic Con, they've got... Who have they got going to that? The lady from the Guardians of the Galaxy with the tentacles. The one that can sort of just touch and they get them to do stuff.
Well, what's her name? Pom something, isn't it? Yeah.
She's going to Liverpool Comic Con, and Isabella's jaw dropped, but she knows she won't be going to that. So that's obviously in a few weeks' time, sadly, but it gives us time to digest. What?
We're doing both Dr. Falls and Twice Upon a Time on the whatever day
yes,
it is. The second
we
part.
are. It's a 2-part story, so yes, we'll be doing that.
Okay.
And that means by the end of March, we'll be in the Jodie Whittaker era at long last.
Oh my goodness!
What?
Oh, yay.
It'd be nice if we could, when we've... Shut up. Oh, yay. In a sarcastic fashion. It would be nice, though, if we go into the Jodie Whittaker era, if we can, in consecutive weeks, do Twice Upon a Time, and then, of course, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, because then that would make it more of a continuation thing for me. I think
something about me not being very enthusiastic. I thought that she would be so much better written for.
Well, she wasn't, because Chris Chibnall was there. But they weren't all rubbish, and there's certainly
no,
a lot...
weren't. Absolutely, they weren't all rubbish.
There's a lot to like.
So much
But they were not as good as we'd hoped.
No.
Yeah.
No, but there's a lot to like, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a reminder of what was to like about the Jodie Whittaker era. Jodie Whittaker, for starters, Bradley Walsh, who I absolutely love as a sort of character in himself, and the character he played in Doctor Who. And there were obviously lots of really good guest actors as well in the series. So there's a lot of really good stuff to enjoy from that era. And I think we'll probably end up enjoying most of them anyway, as we're watching them quite close together without 15-year gaps between series and stuff like that. I mean, if you think about it, the Twice Upon a Time went out on the 25th of December 2015. At the time was the last Christmas Day special. And then The Woman Who Fell to Earth didn't go out until the 7th of October 2018. So I suppose that's a 9-month gap, but, most of the time we're having big gaps.
It seemed like forever.
But most of the time the gaps in between series were quite long, or there'll be a special and then another special a year later, and then we might get a handful of episodes after that. But so far so good with my mate Shooty's era. It's not been that long since the last series ended, and we're looking forward to a new series coming soon, and hopefully a continuation of it, even if it's not on Disney Plus, it'll be on the BBC, because I'm pretty sure the BBC will make an absolute packet from Doctor Who, whoever's doing it, and I don't think the BBC can afford to abandon programmes that sell well abroad. Just saying. Right, so
the big question is whether or not Disney Plus keeps it.
Well, I mean, even if Disney Plus doesn't have it, I think
reckon Netflix will get hold
it's
of
sellable,
it.
Isn't it? It's a sellable series. There's most countries in the world take it. At the moment, Disney Plus.
If whatever format it fails on, Netflix takes it up and releases something spanging. So hopefully it'll be a new golden age if that happens.
Years and years ago, that's where you watched classic Doctor Who.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I bet Netflix are jonesing for it.
Yeah.
Anything on the live feed?
Anything on the live feed? We've got. Oh, hang on. Bear with.
Oh no.
We've got Lillian Robin. I got Wicked on Blu-ray as well, and I've watched it several times so far. That's got nothing to do with Neil.
Doesn't have anything to do with Neil. Maybe glance at the feed first before putting.
I don't want to be spoiled. I want to read it as it comes. Anyway, yeah. So that's that. I don't know what am I going to do in a minute. I thought I might go back to a bit of writing because when you said about the Ninth Legion, I've made a note of that, and I was in the middle of learning a little bit about Lord Horatio Nelson. I already wrote a little bit of piece, or nicked a little bit of about his death, the actual scene of it, actually what happened, rather than Nelson got shot by this sniper and fell and died, and he said "Kiss me, Hardy." I'm not even sure he actually said "Kiss me, Hardy," but I know anyway. It was a witness.
A lot of people think he said "Kismet."
Whatever. That's interesting. I didn't hear that one. But no, what I'm saying is, there's a website on the internet called Eyewitness History, and there was a piece that a couple of eyewitnesses, gave it. One of them was the doctor who treated Nelson as he was dying. I'm a poet.
Nelson.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back and just write a little piece about
a trick with that one. The doctor could go back and attend to Nelson.
How he lost his arm. As well.
So
that sort of thing. Things that are iconic in British history and to a certain extent American history, because obviously I've written parts about, the people who struggled to go over and actually,
our insatiable lust,
to actually start towns and whatnot in the US. It was so hard with being attacked by the Native Americans and disease and loads of other hurdles, starvation. Pardon?
Deservedly so.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it wasn't deservedly so, but I'm saying it took a lot of effort to set up the foundations of what is now the United States. And yes, of course, the ones that were there originally are the ones that probably lost out the most. But I'm hoping that in time,
I've been looking into
they're sort of merging into the American society will become. They'll make up for it, but they did try and fight their own cause quite a lot in those early days, and then they caught all the European bugs and had a few problems themselves. But it's a very interesting era in history, the foundation of, even I have to admit, quite an amazing nation in the United States, and it's not that old, is it? If you look at back, 300 years?
Our pubs are
400 at a push. It's incredible. It's incredible. And the same with Australia to a certain degree, but Australia is not as well populated as America. How that nation
was. Convicts there.
Yeah, but they had to send out people with education to actually start the society. People didn't choose
to go to Australia for a very long time. They chose to go to America.
Some people did. Some people would offer positions to, like, being teachers and lawyers and stuff like that. So there were some people that did choose.
The Crims had gone out.
They couldn't. The prisons couldn't be run by themselves, could they? They had to have some people going out there to actually,
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yes. Yes.
But it was being joshing, but
I know. I'm just saying it's just two relatively new, amazing nations, which is quite interesting to learn about how these places, grew so quickly from a tiny, tiny seed. But I think to a certain extent, the USA's story is the effort that went into founding it. Same with Canada.
The history I learnt in history GCSE was American history. It was very odd.
It's just it's an amazing history.
Still bored? Nope.
Everything's condensed so short into that short 300 years of history to get to where they are now. It's just. Well, I know it's obviously off the back of a lot of British influence. That will wind them up. Listeners, that was just specifically to wind up the Americans.
Don't, my nephew's in New York at the moment. Don't.
Yeah, so no, it's history's fab. It's just a fascinating subject because, as is true crime, when they find these real murderers and bang them up. I love American true crime because they get proper prison sentences in America.
I was just looking at my calendar, and I'm glad we're skipping the 23rd, that we're not going to record, because guess what?
You got a silent movie?
I got a silent movie, which I didn't realize.
Okay, why don't you watch a silent movie at home? Put Wicked on, but just turn the volume down.
Oh, stop it. Right. What are you going to see, Kirby?
Metropolis, which I haven't seen in like 30 years.
Yes, Metropolis.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Which one's Metropolis? But what you just said. Which one's that?
Fritz Lang. It's the one where you see the robot who disguised itself as a woman. I don't remember the plot at all because it's been so long.
Okay.
But all the effects.
Well, Bridget Jones is coming to the cinema soon. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
And also, I'm going down the list here, and April 13th is the general. February 14th, like this month, they're also going to do Rocky Horror, but I'm sure they're sold out. Yeah, Rocky Horror is going to be on Valentine's Day. There.
Okay.
There's some good stuff coming up. To see Sunset Boulevard on a big screen. Definitely going to do that. But there's some great stuff coming up.
And ready for my close-up.
There's some good stuff coming up in the cinema, but there's a couple of things that we had trailers for that they're actually not showing at our cinema. It's very frustrating. There's a film about like a documentary about the foundation of Led Zeppelin. I really wanted to see that, and they're not showing it. But what they are showing is the new Bridget Jones film. I'm absolutely dying to see that, as is Deb, who watches Bridget Jones films all the time. So she's very familiar with them, but I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that. Anyway, so I'm going to go now because I think my voice is probably keeping Deb awake, who's gone to bed to have an early night because she's getting up early tomorrow morning to do the usual stuff. So, until next time, which will be in a few weeks' time, thank you for listening, watching, taking part in the show. Please continue to do so and encourage others to do so also, otherwise we won't have a feedback section. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Bye.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production, sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are proud members of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended. The music on this podcast is covered by limited online music license from PRS for Music.